Coming up tonight on Fifth Third Business Beat, the final resting place of some of Cincinnati's most prominent citizens is bankrupt. This corporate donation will help get fresh food to more people in need. Small business enterprises are working hard on building the banks. This is one of the sights and sounds of summer that's paying off for a Florence man. Dan Monk reports on a blue ash business that's growing and reaching a growing demographic. Professionals by day, competitors by night. Meet the women of Cincinnati's flat track roller derby team. Mary Hurlburt with the Consumer Credit Counseling Service explains the new credit card rules and how they can affect all of us. Dr. Benjamin Pasty shares information from the Cincinnati Business Report released this week from the Applied Economics Institute at UC. And Business Courier editor Rob Dahlmeyer discusses the changes being made at Procter & Gamble and how they may affect the company in Editor's Viewpoint. Also, Richard Erickson with Frost Brown Todd sits down with Doug Bolton for Publisher's Beat.
Fifth Third Business Beat is brought to you in part by Fifth Third Bank and Cincinnati Bell.
Hello, I'm Brian Patrick. Welcome to Fifth Third Business Beat for Friday, June 19th, 2009. On the front page of the Business Courier this week, the operator of the Hillside Chapel in Clifton is in financial trouble. The Cincinnati Cremation Company has filed for bankruptcy reorganization. The crematory and mausoleum complex in Clifton is owned by a group of 41 area funeral directors, some of whom have since built their own crematories. Most of the niches for cremation urns have been sold, limiting the complex's ability to generate additional revenue. The cost of maintaining the 4-acre property and 12,000 square foot building force it to charge higher rates for cremations than other facilities. There is no plan in place for continuing the business if no buyer comes forward. The city may have to take over that facility as a cemetery. The mausoleum is the resting place of Cincinnati legend Ruth Lyons, her husband and daughter. Philanthropist Patricia Corbett's remains are also there. The Freestore Food Bank has a new way to get food to the people it serves. This 26-foot refrigerated truck can hold as much as 10,000 pounds of food. It makes it possible to bring perishables to agencies in 9 of the more remote counties that the Freestore serves.
Increasingly, we're finding new people that aren't acquainted with the mechanisms of help that are available to them in the community. So we're trying to get out more and more to them through a variety of approaches. This is just one of them.
The truck was donated by Kraft Foods. The Freestore Food Bank is one of only 7 organizations nationwide to receive one of these mobile food pantries this year. 35% of contracts awarded through April 25th on construction of the banks along the riverfront are going to certified small business enterprises. That means the city of Cincinnati and Hamilton County are exceeding their small business participation goals, but just barely. 9.2% of the construction contracts awarded went to firms owned by minorities, and 3.8% of those contracts went to women-owned businesses. The first phase of construction, underway now, includes building an underground parking garage just west of Great American Ballpark and some of the new riverfront street grid. After seeing his young daughter startled by a tattooed and Pierce ice cream truck driver, a Northern Kentucky man came up with an idea of his own for business. When kids hear this, they know a cool treat is close by. Tony Lamb launched Kona Ice in 2007, selling shaved ice and ice cream novelties. He started with 2 colorful and custom-made trucks, announcing his arrival with old Bible school songs set to a calypso beat. Soon after, he was selling Kona Ice franchises, and at the end of last year, there were 16. There are now 60 committed trucks this year.
I don't see a limit, I really don't. So we could put literally 50 trucks in DC. We could put 50 trucks in Dallas, Texas. We could put, these big markets can have these trucks all over. And so, the numbers, if you break it backwards, are somewhere between 5,000 and 7,000. That's a big dream. Exciting though. We'll see what happens.
Kona Ice trucks are now in 21 states. All the drivers are clean cut and in uniform. You'll find a story in this week's Business Courier by senior reporter Dan Monk about a Blue Ash publishing company that's venturing into broadcasting. This is a Spanish language company. What's the company? What are they doing?
Well, it's a company that publishes La Jornada Latina, which stands for the Spanish Journal, and it is Cincinnati's newspaper catering to the Hispanic population. It's a biweekly newspaper that was acquired a couple of years ago by some radio sales executives who saw an opportunity to mine this niche market in a segment of the population they see as growing. And so they bought it 2 years ago with the idea that they were going to expand to up to 20 cities. They're now in 9 cities, including Columbus.
So it stands to reason that these are radio executives. They've taken it from print into radio.
Yeah, in Columbus they publish a biweekly newspaper and also a monthly magazine. And now they have added the management of a radio station to their revenue stream. They signed a contract with a company that has a Mexican regional music format station. It's WVKO 103.1, I believe, in Columbus, FM station. And it caters to the 43,000 Latinos who live in Columbus these days. And essentially what they're doing is they're going to take over the management and try to do a better job of selling advertising to bigger corporate clients like the Kroger Company, the Reds, that kind of thing.
How does the radio station benefit from this move?
Well, more revenue. Traditionally, a lot of the locally oriented Hispanic publishing companies are mom and pop shops. They don't have the relationships with bigger companies, and these guys come from a radio background. Some of them worked within the Clear Channel chain. They have relationships with bigger companies, and the idea here is for them to sell bigger companies on the advertising that this radio station has to offer.
Do these guys see an opportunity here with the growing Hispanic population that this could really become profitable?
They say they're profitable now. In Columbus, they say they're going to be more profitable because the 4 people they had working there are now in the radio station offices, so that reduced their operating costs a little bit. And they continue to grow with new publications. They're rolling out the biweekly newspaper in multiple cities. They experimented for a while with an employment publication called Empleos. They don't do that anymore, but they're experimenting with different formats and growing their revenue as they go. They're going to reach $2 million in revenue in 2009, they say, and that's up from $1.5 million in 2008.
All right, interesting trend. Thank you, Dan. Be sure to read Dan Monk's story in this week's Business Courier. Here's the Courier Greater Cincinnati Stock Index, tracking the performance of about 40 local stocks compared with the broader market using the Dow Jones Wilshire 5000 Index. A tough week for stocks. The local index and the overall market each slid about 2%.